Do you ever have like weird dreams? Dreams about like pizza or, I don't know, suddenly getting into fights or defending yourself, or imagine that you're having passionate wild sex with a stranger or even a coworker? Well, this week on Motivation and Confidence, we're going to talk about what your dreams mean. Stay tuned. All right, everybody worldwide, you're now tuned into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. And this week we're at episode number 67. What do your dreams mean? Now, for years, I have had a challenge with staying asleep late at night. Right. And I'm not going to get too deep here. There's a lot of research that you can do for yourself online about different sleeping states and so forth. But I'm just going to share with you some of my experiences that seem a little awkward at times. But, you know, it is what it is. So for years, I found myself fighting sleep. And this would always happen around between the hours of, let's say, 2 a.m. It's maybe 4:30. Ever since I was a kid, it would always feel like, oh, great, that's the radiator in the background. New York City for you. It would always feel as if between 2 and 4 a.m. that, you know, either I was trying to wake up from sleeping and I'm sort of like still in a dream, but it feels like someone's pushing against my chest, or it would feel as if I'm losing my breath and something is about to take my breath away, and I couldn't quite figure out why. So within the past, I want to say 3 or 4 years, I started looking into what my dreams mean. And there are different places that you can go to online. And based upon what you dream about, you can look at certain key things and, you know, see what that dream in particular means. Like if you dream about water, there are things that can describe that as a sense of spirituality and how in tune you are with your spirit. And if the water's clear, it's a good sign. If it's muddy, it's a bad sign. You know, I talked about pizza, and pizza can mean, you know, your need to be selective about what you do, or it could also mean who you keep in your circle or watch your circle. So it would always be various things. There would be times that I dreamt about riding on the train, and I know that's because, you know, I used to ride the subway back and forth for years. And I would have other dreams. Like a lot of my dreams would be about fighting. I would always find myself in a position where, you know, I'm walking down the street, I'm minding my business, and all of a sudden someone is like picking on me, and it becomes extremely violent, and someone winds up getting stabbed or shot or a tussle, and, you know, it's a very uncomfortable type of dream that I would have. But I had those types of dreams for years, and I couldn't really figure out why until more recently. And here's what I think it is, right? So after I started having these strange dreams, you know, in particular about fighting for so long, it's sort of like fighting is symbolic of you internally struggling with something. You know, something's not right with you, and you're fighting to try and get it right. So more recently, when I assessed my dreams, it would say something like, you need to get in touch with your spirituality. Right now, in a broad sense, I would think like, wow, so maybe I need to pray more, or maybe I need to just go to church, but I don't really think that's what it meant. because now I feel more at peace. And I think essentially what my dreams were telling me, it was telling me to allow myself to fall deeper into the dream state and pay closer attention to my dreams. Because within those dreams, you can find out what the higher power or the spirits are trying to tell you. So I think that for all those years when between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when I was fighting, I think that I was being sent messages, but I was really resistant to it because I didn't understand what was going on, and I would fight against it. Like I could literally feel myself shaking in my sleep, like trying to fight from staying asleep and trying to wake myself up. And it's a very uncomfortable way to feel. And I felt like that for years. But more recently, I've embraced those feelings. And now I notice that by doing so, with a combination of meditation, first thing in the morning, I am a lot more calm and I'm more receptive to receiving the information that is given to me, whether it be in the form of a dream or spirits or a sign. Because there's another way that you can receive a sign in addition to dreams. Have you ever woke up at a particular time, late at night or early in the morning, around the same time? You gotta love the radiators in New York City. But it's like minus 11, so I appreciate the heat. I'm not tripping. But you wake up at a same time every night, and you try to figure out why. But if you go to there's different websites online, and you look up numerology and you search those numbers have meanings. And we can get into another conversation about divine law and what things really mean in its higher state and how the messages are being sent to you. But we're always receiving the messages around us all the time. And it's a question of whether or not we pay attention to it. So I started to assess numbers, and, my numbers pretty much every night are between, 3 a.m. and I want to say 7 a.m., right? It's more consistently around the 4:30 time. I guess it's just a particular time and period within my life. But again, what I found is when I was getting the signs that said get in touch with the spirituality, I think that the message coming to me was pay attention to what is going on around you. Pay attention to the relationships that you have with other people. Pay attention to the relationship that you have with yourself, and watch for the signs. So I ask you, do you pay attention to your dreams? Because the dreams can lead you through a path of self-discovery that you may not realize is there. So certain things that you may have a question to, you may not really understand. In addition, I've also recently gotten into oracle cards. And through the oracle cards, this particular deck that I have is various angels, and there's 45 cards in the deck. And you can ask the angels a particular question, and, you can pull 3 cards or you can pull 1 card. And again, it's just me further taking a deeper look into my spirituality and paying attention to what signs are being given to me and really embracing life to the fullest. Now, for years, I have been pursuing music, right? Most recently, I've completed the book, Motivation and Confidence, Volume 1, The 7 Steps. And for those of you who are listening right now, if you go to the website, www.tomdanger.com, sign up to our mailing list, and you can get a free copy of the ebook. It's a quick read. The 7 steps basically gives you the framework to execute an idea that you may have, right? From the vision to the execution. That's basically what it is. And it's a quick read. It'll take you only about 20 to 30 minutes. You can check it out on your phone. It's written in a very simple, easy to read format, nothing complicated. It's just an easy to read thing. And I did that intentionally. Now, in addition to the ebook, again, if you like, for this episode only, I'm going to do it for a limited number of copies of ebooks. I'll also do it for the soundtrack. You could also get it if you're into hip hop, right? I'm not sure exactly the demographics of my audience and how many are into a particular genre of music, but if you're into hip hop, it also has the soundtrack with 7 tracks on it that you can check out for this episode only, for episode 67 only. If you go to the website and sign up to our mailing list, you will get a free copy of the ebook and the mixtape, which is regularly priced at $12.99. We also have some merch. If you go through the website and you go through the tabs, you click on merch. I think we have some hats, t-shirts, bags, and we sold out of the hoodies. And I think we also have the Scullies left as well. So we have the Scully caps. But in pursuing my music, it's a slow and hard grind, and it's one of those grinds that come out of passion. Now, I say that to say this. It wasn't until I started paying attention to my dreams, right? Not the dream of me being into, entertainment and all that stuff, and being a writer, but the message that the dreams were telling me to basically be patient. All the work that I've put in the past, I want to say 10 to 15 years, will at some point in the near future start to pay off, right? And I don't think that, sometimes as an artist or as an entrepreneur, when you pursue certain things, we tend to give up on ourselves. I won't say quickly, but after a while we get winded. We feel like, when are we going to get our big break? And your break may not look like my break, and your blessing may not necessarily be the same blessing as myself, and it may not necessarily be something that's monetary. It may be your ability to influence and inspire other people. So don't always think that it's going to be that one particular thing. But again, I wouldn't understand that unless I took the time to further understand myself and look at the things that the dreams were trying to tell me, the things that the spirits are trying to tell me, the things that are being reaffirmed in numbers, the things that are being reaffirmed in angel cards, right? And that's the whole purpose of Motivation and Confidence. When we say to help you do your daily best, it's me sharing my experience with you so that you can question it and say, you know what, that makes sense, or it doesn't make sense. And if it does make sense and you have a story that you would like to share or a comment that you would like to leave, always on the Spreaker website, once you subscribe to our podcast, you can leave a comment directly on this podcast. Or if you don't want to leave it there and you want to shoot me an email, you could also send it to Tommy Danger, TommyDanger.com Tommy Danger, TommyDanger @gmail.com. You can send me an email there. Or if you say, you know what, this sounds like a whole bunch of hocus pocus and I don't believe nothing of what you're saying, say that too, and why? Like, why don't you believe it? Like, I'm interested in having a conversation with you guys, because also when I've recently shared what I started to delve into or dig deeper into as far as my spiritual journey, certain people in my family, when I broke out like the oracle cards and stuff, they were looking like, nah, I don't know about that. It looked like tarot cards and it looked like something evil, and I'm not trying to get into all that. And that's not me at all. Like, that's not, no, that's not what I'm into. That's not what my journey is. People have different paths of what they believe in. I'm not one to judge. That's just not what I'm into. I'm into, constant enlightenment and bettering ourselves and helping other people, all toward the direction of the light, right? So that's what we want to do. So in conclusion, what I would like to say is when you have your dreams, pay attention to objects that are within your dreams, conversations, and the people. And if when you wake up first thing in the morning, if you have a journal, just jot down some things that you've noticed in your dreams. And then, you can go to like Dream Moods. I think it's dreammoods.com, and you can search up some of the keywords. You could also go to, if you wake up every morning at a particular time and you see a number on the clock, or if you're out, throughout the day and you're looking at like license plates, street signs, change you get from a store, the cost of items, numbers on a spreadsheet, and it's sort of like a certain pattern of numbers that are repeating itself. You can go to another website that's called, I think it's sunsigns.org, and you can check out the numerology that's there. And again, meditation, to be still, to really connect, with your third eye and really feel the energy of the higher power that's coming to you. And more than anything, it's self-love, because you're taking time to love yourself and to look deeper within, to reaffirm what's going on the outside. And I think as I'm sitting here thinking about this, I think, what's going on the outside is a direct reflection of what's going on the inside, right? So if you're thinking negative, you're thinking doubt, you're going to see that reflected in your daily life. If you're thinking positive and you're thinking confident, right, you're going to see that within your daily life. And as always, we appreciate you for checking out the podcast. This is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. Thank you for tuning into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Check us out on various platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Overcast, Castbox, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn, or Alexa Media.